past 8 months with you guys has been absolutely life changing. I mean, we have spent this entire year every single day posting our trades, posting our profit and losses, going over when we have not only just losing days or losing weeks, but multiple losing months this year. We never move or deviate from the plan unless something within the strategy dictates that. And that's why my philosophy when it comes to trading and really when it comes to life is that you can never focus or control the outcome of whatever you do. But what you can always control is the inputs of what you set forth into the world. And when it comes to trading, we know that we can't control what will happen to Tesla, what will happen to the market in general, what will happen to the election. But what we can always focus on is the inputs of proper risk management, the inputs of making sure that the stock is setting up within our strategy. And, really most importantly, actually having a strategy. That is an input of itself. And you can see there have been multiple weeks within this year and even months where we did nothing but lose money. That was the outcome, but the input remained the same. The things that I'm doing this week, where I'm up nearly $4 million this year at about $1 million in just the past week, it's the same thing. I'm doing the same thing, but the outcome obviously is drastically different because Tesla is on a massive breakout. But I need you to understand that none of this is luck. We've been talking about Tesla since May, into early February. June. And of this $3.8 million, Tesla itself accounts for nearly 1.6. And you'll see that before June, we weren't focusing on Tesla at all. The reason that we really started to focus on Tesla was because looking at the monthly chart, we saw an insane squeeze that was happening. Price was making lower highs, support was making higher lows. We noticed that within this tight price range, if we move down to the BX trender, which is the indicator at the bottom of your screen, this dictates buying pressure. Now, while price is compressing in this squeeze, within a bullish structure, this normally is accompanied by a massive breakout. Now, I know a lot of you will say, well, technical analysis didn't know that Trump was going to win the election. Technical analysis didn't know that robotaxi event was going to happen. Technical analysis didn't know that the last earnings report was going to be so crazy. But at the end of the day, it almost did. It doesn't mean, once again, that the outcome is going to be that all of those things ended up happening, but all of that buying pressure is coming from institutions, big people out there who know or have a very good idea, I should at least say, have a very good idea of what is going to happen in the next couple of months. And so all I'm doing is just following the people who are smarter than me. When I see institutions begin to buy and accumulate within support levels, I'm just following them. That's all I'm doing. I know that if I see people buying here and it's enough to flip the BX, it's not retail investors, it's an institution. So once they started accumulating within June, this was on our radar. From that point, you will see that price has done nothing but continue to break out over the past 92 days, about 99%. And the reason I continue to remain bullish on Tesla is because the monthly BX trender continues to make higher highs. And once it stops making higher highs, then I will no longer trade it to the upside anymore. If we flip over to the weekly chart as well, you'll see that we just finally flipped bullish on this chart and the SMA has finally turned green. This means that price can easily continue to run to $380 or $400 without seeing a potential pullback. The other thing to understand is that all of that selling pressure that was occurring between $260 and $280 is now gone. If we come up into our indicator sections, we can look up an indicator that's called a volume profile. The one that I usually use is by this dude, KevCoin. What this volume profile is going to do is show you the areas in which buying and selling has occurred. Normally, you'll see those old vertical bars showing you how many shares were traded within a day. I don't care about that. I don't need to know how many shares were traded within a day. I need to know where those shares have been traded at over the past couple of years. And so if we look at this chart, the horizontal bars, this horizontal gray, the further out it goes, it means that there's more volume within that area. And so if I were to just take a rectangle tool and I were to highlight this area, you'll notice that almost all of the buying and selling, or basically all of the volume, has been between $274 and $150. This now means that if price breaks above this area and we move into these thin shelves of volume, that price is going to move through it like a hot knife through butter, because there are no sellers sitting there to stop this breakout from happening. And the only thing that's happening at this point is more and more people are buying in, unfortunately, retail, because they don't expect this to pull back. And the real messed up thing is that I don't think it's going to pull back. I don't think Wall Street is going to allow retail to get back in. They had more than enough time to get in between $250, $225, $200. And this is the exact reason why, even though this is the crazy part, I should be up way more than I'm up, because I was still saving money in case Tesla pulled back down to 200 once again. But I'm not one of those people where I have to be very uptight about my entry levels. I would rather just get in when I see buying pressure on the monthly, like I said, than say, well, I'm only going to get in if it pulls back to this very specific price. Everyone had more than enough time to get in, and I think unfortunately Wall Street is going to make retail pay, and I don't really think we're going to see a pullback. I would love to see a pullback, I'm not going to lie to you, because I would love to accumulate a bigger position. But at this point, I'm out of most of my trades. You're going to see here that we're up $1.6 million on Tesla. Today, I ended up closing out the rest of those 2027 January 15th calls. Since I was up over $124,000, at the time I ended up paying $110.20 for them, and I closed them today for $135.10. And you'll see that within our Discord community, which is private, if you do want to join the link, get access to all my trades and all my trading bots, the link will be down in the description. But I told them that I was closing out my calls at 11:14 a.m. and I ended up actually buying or rolling into 50 more Tesla January 15th, 2027 $400 calls. The reason I did this is because the calls that I just bought were up nearly 80%. And so what I'm looking for is to have consistent, even risk across my fund. So let's just use a very simple example. Let's say I'm trading with $10,000 and I'm trading 10% max per position. If I'm trading options and I have $10,000 account, that means that each position is going to be $1,000. If I buy a $1,000 call on Tesla and that call doubles now, that position goes from $1,000 to being worth $2,000. Now we have an $11,000 account, but our position sizing is now out of whack because we have $2,000 within Tesla and $1,000 across all of the other stocks. So what we have to do in order to keep what I call, this is not really what it's called, but what I call a neutral portfolio, is I have to therefore close out my position on Tesla, the options that doubled, and then reopen a position with half that amount of money in order to make all of it even once again. I'm going to do an entire dynamic positioning video and course that's going to be completely free that will come out in the beginning of 2025. As for now, Tesla is rated a hold in my opinion. I believe that there is a chance we could reject off of $350 or maybe even $400, but I wouldn't say that this is a buy for me. I'm still holding this, but the time to buy, guys, was down at 180 when we were calling it out in June. I hate to be that guy, but the time to buy was 180 in June. You had a chance to get back in here at 184. And so if you're somebody who's sitting on the sidelines and you're really worried, the first thing that I would say is that Tesla's not the only stock out there, right? We've had crypto, we have Palantir, plenty of other stocks out there that have done very, very well. And there are more stocks going into next year that'll do very, very well. So there's no reason to FOMO. As much as I love Tesla, there's no reason to FOMO and just make a rash decision. That being said, what I would do here is if I believe that going into 2025, Tesla's going to move its way back up to maybe 480 or 500, then I would personally take 25% to 40%. It's not financial advice. I'm just some freaking dude on the internet. Don't listen to me. But personally, I would take some capital and put it into a position on Tesla so that if this happens, I'm not sitting here for the next year or two just watching this thing rocket up to $500 or $1,000. I hope this video helped, guys. Thanks for all of the support over this past year. It has absolutely meant the world to me. If you guys want to learn exactly how I trade and get access to all of the indicators that you see here, everything that I know about trading is completely free in our course library. I am not somebody who's going to put knowledge behind a paywall. I want you guys to be able to just take the strategies that I have, make as much money as you can on your own, and then once you have already proved the concept, to come over and join our private academy so that you can trade with us every day, get access to all my real-time alerts and our trading bots, but more importantly, to just be a part of a phenomenal group of people who are here to really help each other grow. We are very, very big when it comes to our private academy and the culture that we have there. And if you think you would be a good fit, go ahead and join down below. Thank you guys for all the support, and I'll see you next time.